So, Jeff, let's start with linebackers. Your
Sure.
group, what do you see out of them? Who's playing well? Things
Yeah.
like that.
So number one, what are we, 8 or 9 days in now? 8 days, I think. Really pleased with how, especially this week. This week, the light has kind of gone off for the whole group as far as where they fit, how they fit, technique, tying into the fit, tying into the coverage, which is about what you want to see at this point in spring. The effort has been extremely high level. I'm really excited about that. Physicality has been good. Footwork, technique, things like that have been good. We've made progress. I'm really pleased with that right now. So, the last 2 days, watching the guys and how they fit in what we, our 111th, what we talk about doing our job, and how they fit off of each other and within the different defense that Coach Leslie might have called, has been really fun to watch. Like I said, and that's come on the last 2 days, big time.
So individually talk about a couple of guys.
Yeah, so I'll start right now with Lance Dixon at the will position. Lance has picked up where he left off in the bowl game, had his best game of the year in the bowl game, and excited about where he's come these last couple of weeks. He's a guy right now that at probably as good as anybody in the room this week, really tying technique into responsibility, and has made some plays, has improved probably his pass rush more than anything else. Still has way to go, but I'm excited about that. That was something that we identified as what we had to work on, and then has picked up where he left off in coverage and those type of things. Lee Koba's running at Mike linebacker right now. Lee's playing well. Excited about what he brings, the dimension that he brings to the defense. He's a physical kid. He enjoys the game. His love for the game is contagious. I'll say that right now. When you watch Lee practice, which many of you guys have, it takes about 3 seconds to figure out how much he loves football. So that's fun to coach. It's fun to play next to. And you can see that from the other guys. But I'm pleased with where he is. Have more work to do with him, but I'm excited about the track that he's on right now. Caden Beiser right now is a kid locally here, obviously from Morgantown High. Has done some good things. Has really had 2 good days in a row. Has stacked 2 days in a row. Pleased. Really just being a technician and letting the game come to him. Excited about that. And Ja'Cory Hammett is also running it. Mike linebacker. Have seen some things, from the change from Bandit to Mike that I'm excited about. And then Jairo Favres at will. It's good to see him, coming off the injury. He's getting the most extensive reps he's ever gotten. Improvement, definitely, and going from there. And then Will Schoonover is the other one. So I've got 6 guys repping right now. Will's doing a good job. Really, the reps are really starting to add up for him as far as his understanding of the scheme and where he fits. So excited about it. We got 6 guys, so they're all getting a ton of reps right now. And looking forward to what they can do these last 4 or 5 days.
With Lee, what are you exchanging? I mean, the guy before had the experience. What does Lee offer that maybe Josh didn't before?
I don't know. I understand what you're asking. I think you got to treat them as 2 separate entities. I really do. The thing about Lee is, he's played at a high level. He's played Division I football, Power 5 football. We know his journey and how he got here, and I think the thing about Lee that's fun is he appreciates being here. He appreciates what we're trying to do as far as the defense and what we're trying to do as far as a program. He's excited every day he walks in here, and that's something that is exciting for everybody. And not to say that Josh was any different. That's not my point. My point is looking forward. Lee has done a good job thus far embracing this team, embracing this culture, and understanding his role in this defense at the position. And the thing, he's been a quick study. He's learned really, really quickly. He's worked really, really hard at it. By far the best note taker and what he does and how much he studies, how much he's over here on his own, and what he does extra has been really impressive, and I'm really proud of him for that.
A little bit taller, is that helpful at all?
Yeah, anytime. You always want to have as much length as possible. That's a given. That's why we measure guys in recruiting. That's why the NFL measures guys when they draft. That's part of it. But you want the biggest, longest, fastest, most flexible guy with instincts. And I just described the super linebacker. But at the end of the day, if you understand what you have to be really good at and push forward, you're gonna be fine.
Jeff Niels talked about trying to find another linebacker through the portal. Is that Mike? Is that Will? Is it best available?
Yeah, I mean, I think, with we got Lance, we have X3 that have both played on the outside right now. I think we'd like to have an inside guy if possible that can play, between the tackles and has the instincts and can do those type things.
How much has X-Ray been involved?
Every day. He's involved in every single thing. I've been really, really happy with him. Didn't mention him early on because he's not practicing right now, but he's involved. He's in every meeting. He's in every walkthrough. He pushes it to the exact limit that he's allowed to do with his rehab right now. Vince is very, very happy with what he's done as far as his rehab, and I'm excited to see how he comes back off of this.
Best case, when do you think you could have him? Do you think he could be back full go by the summertime?
Yeah, that's what we're planning on. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jeff, you mentioned Will Schoonover. How much of an adjustment did he have to make last year just getting back into the game after the layoff, and where do you see him fitting in this year?
Yeah, no, I think Will, at the end of the day, Will understood that this was going to be a little bit of a learning curve, just getting back into to the game of football after his time off. I think he's done a really good job with that, and I think you're seeing, he kind of adjusted to the speed of the game last fall, and now he's adjusted to the speed of the game. Now it's learning the scheme and where he fits within that scheme right now. And then he's doing a great job on special teams, which he embraces. He wants to be involved in that, and he has shown up in some drill work that we've done in some competition settings. Coach Brown's talked about how we basically take that system of competitions through special teams and identify guys. He's done a really good job, so I'm excited about what he can do for us this fall.
Favor's obviously interesting story. The adjustment, first of all, to American football, then from defensive back to linebacker. Talk about what he's gone through.
Yeah, and then the injury coming off of that. We moved him, and then he had the injury with the knee last year, and so yeah, that thing that I like about working with him is he's always open-minded. He's always embracing coaching. He's always embracing the fact that he grew into this position. He's not negative towards it at all. He knows his body. It's like anything else. You recruit a 17, 18-year-old kid, you got to project. You got to project what their body's going to be. His body's gotten bigger, and he fits the position right on. So I like it because he hangs on every word. And does he do everything perfect? No, nobody does. But he hangs on every word. He's trying to be intentional about what he does, and if we have that, he's got a chance.
How much cross-training? I know Lee is stuck at Mike, flipping guys around a little bit.
No, the cross-training really comes through different packages that we do based off personnel groupings and when we want to, whether down and distance and personnel groupings, things like that. So there's some cross-training that naturally happens because of techniques, but not necessarily as far as positions go right now.
Okay, special teams. You brought in a couple of kickers, a punter, a place kicker. What do you see out of them? Start with that.
Yeah, so the punter, Ali Straw, same deal, kind of learning the American game, even though he did have a base here. He did spend some time in the States and had been here before, so it's not your typical Australian that has come in. So the thing I've been really pleased is that when he's been in the live settings, he's caught every snap. His launch points have been where they need to be. His operation has been good, something that we're always trying to speed up. But his kick locations have been very well, and he's kind of stepped in. And, you got to remember, yeah, he's a slightly older freshman, but he's a freshman. He's a young guy that's here basically midterm, like the rest of these freshmen that are mid-year enrollees. So he's a guy right now that I think I've been pleasantly surprised with how he's naturally fit. The thing that stands out about Ollie, he's a really hard worker. He's a really intentional guy. He's a hard worker. Every step, he critiques every single step that he has. He wants to have it perfect. He understands the opportunity he has, and he's really trying to take advantage of it. So I've been pleased thus far, and we'll continue to grow what we ask him to do. Parker Grothaus has done a good job. He's the place kicker that we brought in. We haven't done a lot of full team kickoffs and field goals. We've done some in a very controlled setting, but I'm pleased with what he brings in. He's got a big, strong, powerful leg, which is what drew us to him, and he has demonstrated that. So we're really excited about what we can do as spring goes. We'll kind of grow and continue to build into full team settings and see how he does. And we tested them a little bit today. It'll be interesting to see what the data says once we get it done after practice.
Jeff, with those two, I'm just curious what your intention is to them. Is Straw a guy that can just spray the ball in different kicks and keep guys on their toes? And Grothaus, does he have enough, clubs in the bag for, hey, bang it for the end zone, or hey, we want one inside the 5 right now? Like, what do you?
Yeah, no, that's I think you're exactly right. I think that was the intention with both of them coming in. I think Ollie having the flexibility to put the ball wherever we want it, and him having the ability to do that, and he has shown that. And then Parker, like I said, yeah, definitely has a big leg, kickoffs and field goals. He's competing at both spots right now, and his distance on both kicks was what drew us to him. So they have shown that ability to this point, and that's exactly right. That's exactly why we were drawn to both of them.
So is Parker pushing Casey legitimately, or could you even split them, a long kicker, short kicker?
That's something that we're way too far to make that judgment right now. Yes, legitimately, yeah. I mean, that's why he's coming to compete. And as good a year as Casey had, Casey needs to compete. And I'll tell you, Danny King has had really good kicks. Danny King's a guy that's been in this program for a year that's doing a really good job. Colton McGee has shown the ability to have a big leg. Just with his consistency, So we've got 4 guys now that can kick the ball and that can make quality field goals at good distance and can make good kickoffs. So yeah, 100%. As far as the having a short and a long, you want those guys to be in a rhythm. And what you don't want is you really don't want those guys on the sideline wondering who's going in. So we'd like to have the guy to be the guy. You know what I mean? And we'll settle that as we get out of camp. But I'm excited with where we're at right now because we've got competition, we've got options, which is what you want. Quality program, you have competition, you have options, and you got guys that are pushing each other, and we have that right now.
Rehabilitate your voice.
How do I rehabilitate my voice?
Totally different than the feel that you do it here.
Took a sip of water, I guess, before I came in here and just tried to settle down. No, I mean, at the end of the day, I get a hard time for that. When I start coaching, I want to make sure the guys understand how passionate I am about teaching them, about how important it is for them to feel my energy when I bring it, because everything that I'm teaching is really, really important. And just like every coach on the staff, every single thing they say is really important, and we want those guys to believe in that. And sometimes the tone of your voice can accentuate that. I don't think I need to do that with y'all. I just want to make sure you guys can understand me and I can be clear. So that's the biggest difference.
Do you have auctioneer background anywhere? Anything in the family? Your dad was a coach, so.
No, just got a lot of information in a short amount of time, and you got to be really efficient and clear and make sure you can talk to the guy in the back of the room.
Curious, as somebody who's coaching defense and special teams, if you had a punter that could get it 40 yards and out of bounds, would you take that right away? Work off that, or a kicker that can get it in the end zone and not have, is that the basis that you work off of?
Yeah, I think with the ability that those guys show and the consistency that those guys show, whether it be punting, whether it be kicking, all that does is give us more weapons. So is a 40-yard punt on the sideline going to be a take? Sure, depending on the situation. But if we have the wind at our back and we can get the ball down the field and we can turn that into a 55-yarder and we can have hang time and, or is it on the 45 going in? And, one thing we've identified, we had way too many touchbacks last year. We can't have too many. We can't have, I think we had 5 or 7 touchbacks on punts in Pooch territory. Like, that can't happen. So, yeah, I would like for that to be 40 yards on the sideline going out of bounds at the 3. That helps us tremendously in defense. So it's really whatever those guys feel comfortable with, what they can prove during the week in practice, and then we can go in a game and, then we've got a bigger arsenal that we can use to our advantage.
How has the placement been in punts? Is it where it's supposed to be?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been good. We've had our slip-ups, but I've been pleased with where we've grown in that the last 5 days since we've been doing live punts.
So understand live reps are limited, but in terms of returners, are you identifying them, or is that going to still be just open competition?
We are definitely identifying them. We want to have a good pool, as we've seen in the past. We're going to need to have a good depth at the position. Obviously, we're going to have new faces back there regardless next year. We all know that. And right now we're still in the mode of getting the pool as big as we need it and then really refining those guys. The thing that I think we do as good a job as anyone in the country is we give those guys plenty of time to catch kicks and to teach catching kicks and punts and to making sure that they understand the differences and the situations that are included in that. It's not just, hey, field the punt, field the kick. There's a lot that goes into it. And the more you can build the depth in that position through reps, the best we can. And one thing that we're really trying to do a good job of is how do we create live reps and put pressure on those guys without having to run down 10 guys and run a ton of full cover reps where you're not taking care of guys either.
because you're working with the linebackers, and then you have your eyes on special teams, you get into that. And I would imagine the film is there's probably double afterwards
Yeah.
too. Just how do you get through any pace?
Yeah, practice is now the last part of that. I don't know. I don't know how you pace yourself. I don't know how that works. We all go. Once it's green light, it's green light. We're all going, no doubt. Probably the most precious film. You kind of touched on that. Just evaluating all of that post practice in a timely manner. But like I said, one thing Coach Brown does a great job of is how he structures the day. With anything, if you're organized, you can make it work. And I think we do an elite job of organizing the day to make sure we have time to watch it and to get the film to where it needs to be. Our off-field guys do a great job with that as well. And then during practice, everything is so segmented. You just got to do a great job of really just flipping your switch. If period 1 is linebacker fundamentals and period 2 is punt, you're linebacker fundamentals, and you're really not thinking about punt until about 5 seconds before the horn blows, and then you flip the switch, and now you're running it, and you're going from there. And then vice versa, going from a team's drill to a linebacker's drill. But it is, I would say it is a challenge, but it's one that I've really enjoyed the last 2 years, going on 3 years now. I think it's a fun part of it. All right, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.